Hello.
Hi. Nick and Matt from Jurassic Vans here. I am wearing this because we have been working on our fourth van, Cammy, at the moment.
And I'm wearing my jumper because I'm cold.
it's freezing now. And we've also got the Christmas tree in the background.
We've got a little bit further away. It's undecorated at the moment. It's a bit... This is tonight's mission?
Yeah, tonight's mission. We've got someone watching live.
This is going to happen soon. Comment on our like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to see more tree activity.
Yeah, we will give you more tree activity next week. Anyway, we divulge. Today we're going to be talking about insulation. Really, really important in this country because it's so humid.
And bloody miserable.
Well.
It's not, it's lovely.
So insulation is really important and we're going to go through it. We've got some amazing products here that we're going to go through and we're going to recommend what we advise you to use and what we don't advise you to use so you can be really good, efficient van builders.
You only have to do it once. You won't have to rip it back out.
And it won't cost you as much because we're going to tell you the best products to use.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into our 5 top tips.
By the way, we're not sponsored by Dodo Matting, but... Oh, we are?
Well, technically we are because they gave us some free stuff. We're going to give an honest review about it.
eBay, I know there's a lot of stuff on eBay, and this is our number one point, is don't buy cheap.
Number one, do not buy cheap.
Do not buy cheap. I've used cheap products. I'll get it over now.
So what the products that we're using and that we're going to refer to at the moment is Dodo products. They are made and manufactured in England. Really, really lovely family-run business. And we did approach them and they sent us some free shit, which was awesome. They sent us sound deadening, the thermo liner, and the recycled plastic bottle stuff. And we're going to talk through what we love about each product and if we think it's useful.
So you might have seen something very similar to this on eBay, which is the black foam stuff with the yellow self-adhesive. I've used that stuff. There's other stuff like it. It's a foam. This is a much better quality one. It's squishy. The adhesive on it actually sticks to stuff and doesn't peel off after 5 minutes.
Yeah, so it's got an adhesive backing here.
And you just throw it up. And this is, bear in mind, so insulation is all about trapment of air bubbles, and air is like super non-conductive to thermal properties and such. So it's the ability for it to trap air. I use this as the so-called vapor barrier. So this will be the last layer, which covers all your screw heads, any sort of wood exposure, but it also covers any air gaps in between PRR board, like your big chunky insulation board, and any more bodywork. This completely seals. This is the final layer I put on all our vans.
This is the Dodo thermo liner. This one is the 7mm. You can get an extreme version, which is a 16mm. For our medium wheelbase sprinters and crafters, we will be using 2 rolls of this, and that's 10 meters per roll. This is our favorite product.
Yeah, I like it
because it makes it look like a spaceship.
Yeah, there's a part of your build that makes it look like a spaceship. You'll literally need 1 roll. It's about 10 meters. If we have a sprinter, medium wheelbase, and long wheelbase, you'll need 1 roll for the ceiling and another roll to do the sides. Depending, you might need another roll if you haven't cut all the windows out, because windows obviously don't need insulating. So don't buy cheap. You have that bubble wrap stuff as well with the
silver bubble wrap.
Yeah, again, it's really cheap, but as soon as you compress it, you've compressed the air bubbles and it's doing nothing. There's absolutely no thermal property there or anything worth worrying about.
Just to backtrack, we also used Dodo deadening, which is their sound deadening. It's like a rubberized mat with a reflective side on it, very sticky. You see people absolutely cake their vans in this stuff.
It's for noise deadening.
It's for noise deadening. So where should it be used?
So this is for the big rattly vans. Like if you want to keep it like a nice premium sound, you want it around the like engine firewall. But most of the time, it's covered in fluff anyway. This sort of stuff is more to do with like cars, interior doors, because a van's full of cushions and it's sound absorbing materials anyway. Like this stuff. This matting's definitely for cars, but we do see a lot of people put this in their camper vans.
It's expensive because it's a premium product and it's heavy. So we don't use it in the back of our vans at all, just in the front bays. And did we put it in the side pockets of a door?
We put it in the doors. If you have speakers in your door and you put bassy speakers in, put them on the paneling and it'll stop the paneling from vibrating and you get some nice acoustics.
Save yourself some money by buying the thermo liner and don't buy the sound deadening and do all the panels. We don't need to do that.
Lovely. Yeah, I think I've ranted about that.
Did you want to go on to that one?
Yeah, eventually.
We've got another Dodo product we're going to talk about later, but we're going to move on to point two.
Point 2, expanding foam. We see a lot of videos of people just spraying expanding foam. I'm guilty of this. I've done it on my first 2 vans.
Just to clarify, when we're talking about expanding foam, we're talking about insulative expanding foam and adhesive expanding foam. So using it to stick PIR board to the vans. We've recommended it before. We don't recommend it anymore. Why is that?
Because we found a better system. I've created the godlike insulation. I know it's not godlike. It's just I like it a lot. It's obviously a lot of chemicals, a lot of ozone destroying. If you're into that sort of stuff, it's very environmentally unfriendly, and it seems like the lazy man's job.
It's very horrible once you get it on your hands as well. It's really damaging.
You think you're saving time, but when you have to clean all that stuff up because it's dripped on you from the ceiling.
Yeah, you can only use it in particular temperature ranges. So if you're doing any van refurbishment in England at the moment, we are in winter, so it can only be used, I think, above 15 degrees. So that's restrictive.
Something like that, yeah, it doesn't expand and come out properly. So just no more expanding foam, even in the ceiling. I will avoid it at all costs.
We're going to show you how, which moves us on to point number 3.
PRR board. That's the.
I can't even remember what
that's a Celotex. It's the hard board.
On top of
we've got some.
Yeah.
This is a little sample of it. Like you won't. They come in bigger sizes. You won't need to put like a billion of these inside your house in your van. This is great. The builders, this is good because the build. Well, it's not good because of the builders. I once saw a builder working in the snow, and they were satting a bunch of that, and apparently their bums were very warm.
Yeah, I was actually resting on it today. So this is basically a dense foam that's really difficult to compress
and
on a hole.
There's billions of little air bubbles in there, which, like we said before, air is what gives thermal property and insulation to things, because air is just a great insulator. So
it comes in a variety of different thicknesses. The thinnest we've seen is 25 mil, 2.5 centimeters. Goes up to 40 mil, 50 mil, 100 mil. All of the links to the products that we're talking about as well are going to be in the description. So have a look at them.
And I've got a real tasty way of cutting this stuff with zero mess and the crispest of lines.
And that is in our Campervan Build Club.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's super secret stuff.
Yeah.
So use this anywhere possible. So this is in your window frames, anywhere where there is a big gap. You want to keep it as big as possible.
Ceiling, wall.
If you think you're going to save yourself some money by using the offcuts, well, if you've got 2 bits joining up, you've now got an air gap between. Just use whole sheets in your windows wherever possible and make them as big as possible with least joins. That's
when you say use the whole sheets in your windows, just to clarify, because that's a bit confusing.
Sorry. You've got those recesses in your vans where if you were to cut a window out, that's where they go. But if you don't cut the window out, you've got almost a single skin inside your van where then it comes out in your frames. You want to put that in. This
stuff is so lightweight as well. It's brilliant.
It's great. It's expensive, but it's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Tip number 4. Okay, before anything goes down, obviously you've got your design laid down. You know what you want your van to look like. You want to sort out any rust, any sort of leaking. You want to just get that done. They're boring jobs, and normally you have to be up on the roof in the rain, possibly, or finding little tiny holes. Deal with that before putting the insulation down, because even though you've covered it and hidden it, it's still dripping, and it will come back one day, if not worse.
And it's really difficult at this point because you want to start making progress, because you probably removed paneling from your van, and you're in that stage where you want to make really big forward steps. But with camper van building, it is marathon, it is not a sprint. So some days it will look like nothing has been done, and you'll have just treated tiny little rust spots, but the effect that's had is huge.
Yeah. So
just remember, it's all about loads of little steps, not massive leaps forward, because we want to teach you how to be very good van builders, not just trying to get to the end. Because you want to enjoy the process.
Yeah, some of it is hard, but you need to put that work in. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you're going to be laying in the forest and your little drip, bloop. And then all that work you've done will have to be torn out, find that leak, cover it up, and then try and push it all back. It's not very nice.
You don't want that.
I've had weepy ceilings in the caravan once. It was all dripping. I was like, next step.
Tar fit.
Don't fill the little gaps. I made extra special for you guys. I made a little tiny.
So when we're saying don't fill the gaps,
I've got.
Can you just introduce?
Oh yeah,
what
absolutely.
Means? So this is another product that Dodo sent us. Thank you very much, Dodo. Which is Dodo. Sorry to get that to focus. Dodo Thermo Fleece. It's basically made from recycled plastic bottles. You can get similar alternatives elsewhere, but we love it because it's made from recycled plastic bottles. And this stuff looks very similar to the stuff that you get in lofts. Now that is recycled. That is usually glass insulation, and when I see people using that, it's brown in texture. some of the stuff upstairs, but I forgot to grab it.
Not good for breathing in.
No. So this stuff is great because the fibers all stay together and it's like compacted away. But the glass stuff, you don't want that, because that's fine when it's up in your roof in a house and not being moved. But if you're in a car and you're constantly moving around, it will release the fibers. That's why we love this stuff instead of the brown fluffy stuff.
Instead of expanding foam.
It's really soft as well.
Use that, but don't make the mistake where you're pushing it in all the little tiny gaps.
This stuff can come in 50 mil and 100 mil thickness. I think we've got the, don't know.
I don't know. It definitely expands bigger. So a good little diagram here for you guys and girls. So you've got the outside, the inside. This is the van bodywork.
Do you want to just orientate that so we know that's the outside like that?
Yeah, that's fine. It says outside here. And then this is the bodywork, and then you've got this. This will be like, this represents one of those ribs that you see, or a beam or joist. Okay. So you've got the PRR board pushed into those big cavities, and then you'd have your wood or insulation. This is like where your decorative side coming in here. Common mistake is people will fire a screw through all their lovely insulation jobs straight into the work. Any cold, which is touching this metal, goes around it. Normally there's a little bit of rubber here to stop it, but sometimes it's spot welded on. The cold goes all the way through this metal, all the way through here, through your screw, through all your lovely insulation job, and then you get a moisty condensating screw head.
That's where it drips on your head.
Yeah. The people, this is also going on to why you shouldn't shove the cavities. Some people will put this bottle insulation foam in this bit here.
I've spent hours doing that.
They'll
in vans.
shove it in, but with
a little skewer, just putting it in.
Push it in. But what's really happening is the cold is just going around it, and then it's completely voiding it. You waste time. It will do something, because there are these little rubber gooey blocks that sometimes they glue the internal skin on.
If you've done it, don't take it out.
Yeah, don't. But it's not worth the time. It's whatever thermal properties is absolutely minimal.
So outside of the van, this is the metal rib ceiling bit, PIR board.
Yeah, just don't waste your time. This will be good for when you're pushing between PRR board and you just want to make that, where if you've had like...
So don't feel like you have to stuff this bit in here, basically.
Precisely, that's the one.
Hang on, where does that silver stuff go? Because we're talking about this.
Oh, that's a secret, but that'll be on this edge here to cover this screw head.
If you want details, there is a link below for the Campervan Build Club, which we're going to be launching next year, where we're going to be teaching you how to be the best van builders. So you don't have to go to...
But not better than us.
Well, I'd like that if we can teach people to be better than us.
Oh, yeah, this is true, actually. I'm just here for looks.
So that's our 5 tips to just round up quickly. 1, don't buy cheap. Buy Dodo. It's manufactured in the UK. We really rate them.
Buy cheap, buy twice.
Don't want to do that. We've gone through many vans, so we know good products. 2,
don't use expanding foam.
Heard a really funny story from one of my friends about a guy, and they had a box of expanding foam. They went around a corner, something hit into it, and it just ruptured, and 3 of the tins went off in the back of their van.
It is a chemical reaction as well, so whatever it lands on, it does actually melt into. That's how it bonds. The adhesive stuff. It will melt plastic, like just the micro surface.
3, use PIR board
where possible. Get as thick as possible. Don't it's expensive, but get it in there. The thicker you can get it, the better. If you want, then get it on the ceiling.
Definitely. Number 4,
sort all the wiring and rust out and holes up before putting anything up, because you'll have to redress it one day.
And number 5 is don't fill the small gaps with floof. You're not saving any time. Doing that. So next week we're going to be talking about
plumbing and electrics. We've got some highly rated products, things that we've used. I've gone, to give you an example, water pumps. Every time I bought a van, I seem to go up in price on the water pump. I started at £6, those Chinese ones, and I've worked my way up to the £60 Sureflow. I've tried them all. I could definitely tell you my opinion really strongly on each of the pumps.
So basically, we appreciate that everyone is on a different budget, and some people can't afford to have expensive things, but we want everything to last. We're really keen on buying products that are going to last your van lifetime and not just last a couple of years.
I'm happy to say the ones that you definitely should not get and avoid at all costs.
And in summary, just remember, we've got our Jurassic Park Up on Saturday, the 8th of January, 2022.
Will you be there?
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
You'll be there too. No one's got any plans in January because it's January and it's boring and it's quite sad and grey. So come down to Bournemouth, come and meet us. We're going to be doing special talks on our new van build. We're going to be showing all of our vans. It's £3 a ticket. Kids come free.
£3.
£3. You can't even buy a coffee for
£3
£3.
whole pounds. And we've got coffee there as well.
Yeah, and there's going to be coffee and beer and food. It's going to be great. There's going to be a choir singing. And you get to nosy around our vans. And remember, if you are thinking of hiring our vans, we've got Black Friday on at the moment. Use code BlackFriday10. Link in the bio description to the website so you can book it. Because you can take our vans to anywhere in Europe that you like to. So if you're thinking of getting out of the winter already, go escape somewhere warm in Europe. Take the vans there. Any final wrap up comments you want to say?
No,
you're looking for something to pick up.
Yeah, just look at no. I'll go on the rant about cheap insulation. Otherwise, we haven't got time for that.
So we'll see you next week. We're going to talk about plumbing and electrics for episode 6 of the Campervan Collective. Thanks for joining us. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff.
Do all that stuff, and God praise the YouTube algorithm.
Good one.